Word, what's the word? Hit the like button, man. Let's get up in here and have this show, man. Now, I came across this video. Shout out to everybody, man. It's Monday morning, man. Shout out to my people, man. I appreciate everybody. I did something on this yesterday. True indeed, I did something on this yesterday. Then I went to watch the Super Bowl, enjoyed myself. We saw the Seahawks defeat the Patriots. You know, so I was rolling with the Seahawks, man. I never been a fan of the Patriots, man. So yeah, it just is what it is. Tap on in and let's get it. Yes, sir. Uh-huh. I don't know, man. Tell me what's good, man. What's popping? What it do? Poetic Flakko doesn't know what he's talking about, man. So we're gonna get into that. Most definitely. Poetic Flakko ain't never spent no time in these LA streets, man. He don't know what he's talking about. Some things can be true when he talks about gang members in general, but this thing with blacks being afraid of Mexicans, man, he don't know what he's talking about. The halftime show was a joke. Yeah, the Bad Bunny thing, man, I don't know why they would get somebody from another country to perform at the halftime in America, right? So the halftime show was you know, it is what it is though. But I want to stay on topic, man. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you guys for pulling up early this morning. You got a lot of people at work. You got some people who still in the bed, so it is what it is. We had it cracking yesterday, though, man. We had like 900 some people in the chat, 900 live viewers. You know what I'm saying? So the show was cracking yesterday, man, and the video is at 16K. It really should be at 50K at least, especially with the game that I spit, with the people I reach, with the people I teach. That live stream yesterday should be at 50K. Easy, baby. That's easy money. So that was politics. Shout out to LA to the Bay. Shout out to my bro, LA to the Bay. Also known as Pretty Boy, man. What's popping, man? Yeah, the Super Bowl was born though, man. It took a long time for things to get cracking. It was a lot of field goals. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, Puerto Rico is an American territory, but that's not American culture, right? I feel you though, Virgil. I've been to Puerto Rico. I've been to Puerto Rico a few times, man, and I've been to different cities in Puerto Rico. I went to the tourist areas. Hey, shout out to Tazo, man. Shout out to Tazo, man. I seen you on the Viral Way, man. You was spitting yesterday on the Viral Way podcast, man. You was most definitely spitting. Shout out to Tazo, man. You did your thing. Oh man. What people don't know, is this, man. They keep saying blacks, man. Them dudes is babies, they kids. Now I know when you start gang banging, you're supposed to be grown, but mentally, man, them dudes ain't grown. I don't know, man. You got to be on the East Coast, man. Mexicans sing a whole nother song on the East Coast because they don't have the backing that they have on the West Coast. So they got to link up with other groups of Latinos for protection, right? So it is what it is. It's a whole different ball game. But let me tell you like this. If you in somebody's territory, right? Let me tell you like this. If you in somebody's territory, you're not going to be whooping and doing all that rah-rah stuff. You're not going to do it. So when I seen people saying, oh, what they would have did if the essays rolled up on it, the essays would have cooked you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You would have got laid down, finished, finito. It's a done dilly. You know what I'm saying? They would have peeled your cap back. Let me see how many of you guys are gonna act tough when you're dealing with 4 guys that got guns on them and you in their territory. You have no backup, no weapons. But they was all the way out of pocket. For one, this is what I said yesterday. They had no business. They had no business over there in the first place. California blacks are slow. You're dumb. You know how many black people get attacked by racist whites down south? A lot of that stuff don't get reported, but some of it do. Some of it do. Most of you people up in here talking, you've never experienced the LA streets. You don't know nothing. Your understanding of gang culture comes from the internet. Let me say this to the gang Goofy Gilligans, man, real quick. Let me say this to the gang Goofy Gilligans. You know, none of you guys have experience out there in the field. You just don't. Your understanding of gang culture, of LA gang culture, comes from the internet. So nobody values your opinion. You don't know what you're talking about. A white kid from the suburb could study YouTube and believe that he understands gang culture because of what he saw on YouTube. So a whole lot more to this than what you see on YouTube. But when you a gang Goofy Gilligan trolling in comment sections, you don't know what you're talking about, bruh. You a spectator. Continue to be a spectator. Listen and learn something. Stop repeating what you heard on the damn internet. Straight goofy. Gang Goofy Gilligan, man. Hit the like button. Oh, man. And they didn't even run. This is the thing. Not only did they get confronted by grown men, they didn't run. A lot of you guys would have shitted your pants if somebody ran up on you and you was out of bounds, and more than likely they had that fire on them. Most of you guys ain't never been in a situation like that. You don't know nothing about the streets, man. I know plenty of squares who got family members who are street people, but you're not a street person. You've never experienced this. That's like me saying, I understand what it is to be a doctor because my dad was a doctor. You never been a doctor. Your your family, listen, homie, your family member was street people. You're not a street person. That's obvious. I can tell by the things that you're saying in the comment section. Your family members might have been in the streets, but you've never done it. So you've never experienced it. Sit back, listen, and maybe you can learn something. You ain't never been confronted by opposition and the opposition got weapons. You ain't never been in no situation like that in your life. I can tell by what you saying, man. Real street people don't type goofy shit like that. So I can tell you're not a street person by the goofy stuff you're typing. It's a dead giveaway, homie. I can check the room, homie. I can read the temperature. Real street people don't say goofy stuff like that. So it's easy to see that you're not a street person. You're saying goofy things. It's a dead giveaway, homie. You don't understand the politics. Bakersfield. Okay, Bakersfield, man, please, man. I'm not saying that ain't no action going on in Bakersfield, but I don't care where you from. You could say you're from LA. It don't matter even if you was from LA. I can tell that you're not from the streets. I can tell that you never experienced this firsthand yourself by the things you're saying. You can listen to what somebody's saying and you can tell what type of person they are. It's a dead giveaway, homie. I don't need to know you personally. I can judge you based on the stupid stuff that you typing in the comments. Anyway, let's move on. We've dealt with him enough. Yeah, Bakersfield is full of tweakers and smokers. Yes, exactly. Because there ain't nothing to do out there. Ain't no beaches out there. Bakersfield is I'm not trying to disrespect Bakersfield, man, but there ain't nothing going on in Bakersfield, bro. Yes, you got gangs in Bakersfield. Yes, it be cracking in Bakersfield sometimes, man. But come on, man. Who wants to go to Bakersfield? What do people go to Bakersfield for? For what? For cheap housing. That's it. I'm not here to disrespect Bakersfield, but damn. I'm just roasting you, my dog. Ain't nothing but farmland in Bakersfield and a couple of ghettos and tweakers, drug addicts. Outside of that, ain't nothing cracking in Bakersfield, big dog. You can get smoked anywhere, homeboy. Gun violence takes place anywhere. Just because you can get smoked in Bakersfield, there's nothing going on in Bakersfield. Like I said, you got gangs out there, farmland, nothing really going on, homie. When you come to, if somebody say they want to come to California, do they really want to go to Bakersfield? Most people never heard of Bakersfield. Most people outside of California never even heard of Bakersfield. Most people, shit, homie, most people in Southern California don't want to go to Bakersfield. Bakersfield is a place that you leave and you get away from. Bakersfield is not a place that people want to go. They don't want to go to, man. Anyway, man, let's get to it. Let's see what Flakko was talking about.
Kicking cack and being boo until an essay show up, and now it's me, Padre. And today we got another viral example of how.
And Poetic Flakko is a square, for one. He's a square. An essay show. It wasn't an essay. It was essays with weapons. And on top of that, these were grown-ass men dealing with teenagers. You left out those contributing factors right there.
Gang members are terrified of Mexicans. They're all tough and big and bad until a Mexican show up. It's always kicking cack and being boo until an essay show up, and now it's me, Padre. And today we got another viral example of how black LA gang members are terrified of Mexicans. Before we get this video started, if you're in need of some money and you really need to find a way to get your hands on some quick cash, there's an app called Free Cash. Rodney in LA. And during this interview, these two hooligans were popping it.
These are kids, bro. Look how young these dudes look, man. These are kids. Their bodies haven't, listen, their bodies are not even fully developed yet. Their brains are not even fully developed yet. You caught two kids slipping in a Mexican territory, and he wants to use this as an example to say that this proves that somehow blacks are scared of Mexicans because these two kids got ran up on by some grown-ass essays. Poetic Flakko, you're dumb. This video proves that blacks are terrified of Mexicans because these juvenile delinquents. Let me tell you something. This dude right here weighs 120 pounds soaking wet. This dude right here weighs 120 or 130 pounds soaking wet. These are children. These are not even men. So for you to try to use this as an example to show that blacks are somehow afraid of Mexicans, you're dumb. But I get it. It's content. You can say the dumbest stuff in the world and use that to make content. And that's exactly what Poetic Flakko was doing. Both of these dudes weigh 130 pounds soaking wet. These are children. Let's be honest.
All right, they was calling themselves trophies, telling Rodney that they really be stepping.
Basically like a trophy kind of.
Hell yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Teenagers. I said they're teenagers, man. They're no match for grown men. 130 pounds soaking wet, both of them.
Me, I think myself a trophy, you feel me? You feel me? Cause like I'm putting on for the hood, you feel me? And I really step, bro. Like, and you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I really do it. And Crip, I'm whooping his ass. There, homies. I'm putting paws on it. Swear to God, when I got to high school, that's when I really started squabbling. She got my squabble up. I'm not even gonna front. Hell, I'm keeping the band. Middle school, y'all had me. But now, yeah, homie, come try that.
He's young, and you could tell he's new to gangbanging because he still got that twinkle in his eyes. The twinkle is promise. He still has hope for life.
Okay, because he's a kid. So why would you try to use a kid as an example to prove that somehow blacks are terrified of Mexicans? Do you know that Mexicans get banged on in black areas all the time. Mexicans get victimized in black areas. It ain't one-sided. If you get caught in the wrong territory, you're going to be a victim. You're vulnerable. Nobody's Superman. I've seen some of the toughest essays get ran down on in black areas. And if you are black in an essay area, they're going to run down on you. That's what happens when you in somebody's territory. See, when it comes to these nerds and people who do YouTube, this is a big story. When you from Los Angeles, stuff like this happens all the time, man. You in somebody's hood, they don't know you, they're going to pull up to check your temperature. That's protocol in Los Angeles. That's normal. That's everyday activity. But to these nerds who are content creators, oh, did you see what happened? Oh, it's a big thing. See, when you don't come from that lifestyle, this is a big thing. But when you come from the streets of LA, this is normal protocol. This is regular scheduled programming. It happens all the time. This right here proves how goofy people on the internet are. Poetic Flakko don't know nothing about street life. He's a goofy from North Dakota. Yeah, you might have lived in Los Angeles, but you never lived in the trenches. You never been involved in the day-to-day activities. You a spectator, you a square. You a content creator who knows nothing about street life. But I get it. You're going to get clicks and views anyway. See, let me tell you something. The internet is so goofy. Poetic Flakko can say the goofiest stuff ever is still going to get clicks and views because people on the internet like goofy shit. He can say the dumbest stuff ever and it's going to get a lot of views. Somebody can come up here and give you everything, give you all the facts, and it's not going to get that many views because the algorithm pushes goofy stuff like this. They don't want real people to be in the algorithm. So when you got the people who really come from the lifestyle, they shadow ban those creators and they promote goofy shit like this when clearly he doesn't know what he's talking about. But I'm showing you how the algorithm on YouTube works. It promotes goofy stuff and it suppresses the real stuff.
25 that hoping that twinkle is gone. He'll be a full-out junkie, you know, a full-out retard on the corner of the block, smoking Black and Miles in 30-day-old draws, trying to find people to harm and rob. But right now, he still has promise. He still thinks this gangbanging stuff would take him far.
What a lot of people don't know is if those were Mexicans out there, essays would have pulled up and banged on them. Do you know that essays attack and harm each other more than they harm blacks? Come on, this is common sense. Mexicans in Los Angeles harm themselves way more than they harm black people. The biggest threat to a Mexican is another Mexican. The biggest threat to a black man is another black man. So when I hear you goofy saying you blacks are doing this, clearly you're not from the streets. There's no black gangs in that area. So what's going on? It's Mexican versus Mexican. Now, if they see somebody black over there, they'll check you. They'll try to check your temperature. But for the most part, ain't no black gangs over there. There's no black population. So Mexicans victimize each other in those areas. That's what happens because there's no black people over there. There's no black gangs over there. So you got a bunch of Mexican gangs going to war with each other. But when you're not from the streets, you don't understand that.
You figure out pretty quickly gangbanging ain't taking him nowhere. Right, he'll be a bum on the side of the road soon. All right, that's just a fact here. Now, during this vlog or this interview, he was popping it about how much of a stepper he is. He even said, go ask the people who know. They know what I do. He even said he a trophy. He even told people, yeah, come and try it if you want to try it. So when he says he really be stepping, he was bragging about bringing harm to other people who look like him. Stepping means shooting. Bringing violence to people who look like him, other kids who look like him. And he's bragging about this. Now, that's the problem that we have when it comes to black gang members in LA. They are the biggest, baddest, toughest people on the planet when dealing with other black people.
See, Poetic Flakko is a certified goofy. He's a square. Even in county jail and prison, Mexicans are attacking their own people more than anything. The Aryan Brotherhoods, the skinheads, they attack their people more than anybody. The moral of the story is this: everybody attacks their own group more before they attack their group more than others. Because before you can check somebody else, you got to clean up your own house. So the essays in county and in prison, they're always removing somebody or disciplining somebody from their own faction. So to all you outsiders and you out-of-towners, now understand this. The majority of Black and Mexican gangs in LA don't even have beef with each other, right? But you have some who do. So a lot of you guys, you're just reading articles in the news. You're not from the streets. You don't understand this from a street perspective. You get your information from YouTube and social media. So you really don't know what you're talking about. This is what you got. You got bits and pieces of the whole story. You ain't got the whole movie. You just got bits and pieces of the story. A lot of you lanes need to sit back so maybe you can learn something about LA culture and what's really going on. Poetic Flakko don't know nothing about LA street culture. He's a goofy who became a content creator. He says goofy shit because he knows it's going to get clicks and views. Can some of that stuff be true? Yes, but what I said is he got bits and pieces of the story. He ain't got the whole movie because he don't come from that lifestyle. The dude is from North Dakota.
But like we will see very shortly in this interview that when the Mexicans show up, right, looking for the violence that they got, looking to test that temperature, the temperature got calmed down. Not only did the temperature got calmed down, they presented themselves as an ally to the Mexicans.
The Mexicans had guns on them, you dummy. Poetic Flakko ain't never been confronted by opposition who got guns and weapons. He's never been in a situation like that, right? You're not going to talk tough to somebody while they got guns. For one, they outnumber you and they got weapons. These are matter of fact, let me add to it. Let me add something to the sauce. For one, these are teenagers, 130 pounds soaking wet. For two, you in a Mexican territory, you out of bounds. For three, you're outnumbered. Four, those Mexicans had weapons. You're not going to talk greasy and crazy to somebody in their territory and they outnumber you with weapons. You're not going to do it. Stop talking. You sound stupid. I've seen gangbangers on this saying what you wouldn't have did nothing, homeboy. You wouldn't have did nothing. If you got caught in that same area and 4 essays rolled up on you and they had weapons, you're not going to be talking greasy. Stop it. Knock it off.
These are same people who are out here every day shooting and killing other Black people who look like
See,
you.
listen, if you got any discernment, if you have any type of understanding and discernment, you would have enough common sense to see, now them essays were strapped. Ain't nobody going to pull up on you like that, talking aggressive, hopping out like that, just looking for a fade. Them dudes had weapons. Them dudes had weapons, and guess what? They still banged they set. They still banged they set. So they were supposed to talk greasy and get unalived and lose their life. Or are you supposed to live to fight another day? My thing is this. I don't care how tough you are. I don't care how many fades you took. You're not going to be talking greasy to a group of people in their territory, plus they got guns and outnumber you. You're not going to say anything stupid in that situation if you know what's best for you. So to all you tough guys saying what you would have did, you wouldn't have did a damn thing. If the essays would have put up 4 to 5 deep with weapons, you wouldn't have did nothing.
They're free first. I got to tell you, they're homies. My brother really a low. Yeah, man, he a young. You see the 5 right here, really? 155. What's up?
You can't say Mexicans don't know what they're playing in the DMV. Mexicans have unalived Black people in Virginia and Maryland. They have. Just like the Latin Kings have unalived Black people in New York, man. You guys are talking crazy. Just like the Cubans in Florida have unalived Blacks down there. You guys are just not, you're not being real about the situation. If you get caught in somebody's territory, they outnumber you and they got weapons, you're not going to be talking crazy. Knock it off. I don't care how much time you served in prison. I don't care how many fades you caught or took. You're not going to talk greasy in somebody else's territory when they outnumber you and they got guns and weapons. You're not going to do it. Both of these dudes weigh 130 pounds soaking wet. What was they really going to do? At that point, you're a victim when you get caught slipping in somebody's territory.
What's the deal?
What's the deal? Where you from?
I'm from ATF Compton Crip. I'm from ATF Compton Crip.
This is the first thing they learn in gangbanging school. They literally rehearse this in the mirror every night before bed after getting a put on.
The Latin Kings in Chicago have unallied blacks. The Latin Kings in Chicago will jump on black people if they catch you in a little village. It ain't got nothing to do with who's being scared. It's all about who has the numbers and who has the advantage. That's what it's all about when it comes to warfare. But I don't expect for Gang Goofy Gilligans, who's never been in a confrontation like that, to really understand. Most of you guys ain't never been in a situation like that to where you get confronted by the opposition. They outnumber you with weapons. Most of y'all ain't never been in a situation like that. You're just talking greasy from the internet, but you've never experienced that in real life.
This is gangbanging 101. When somebody asks you where you from, you gotta puff your chest out, put some bass in your voice, and rap your set, cuz. Let's pretend to be dum-dums for a second, okay? As if we're actually dumb enough to join a gang. If, let's say you join 19th Street Crip, okay? When somebody comes and asks you, where you from? I'm from 19th Street Crip. I'm from 19th Street Crip. All right, that's how you're supposed to react, and that's what they practice in the mirror. But the rehearsal only go as far as I'm from 19th Street Crib. The rehearsal don't go further than that. You don't rehearse what you do next if, somebody isn't receptive, to your chin, right? Because in their minds, everybody would, automatically just be terrified because the game maker said, I'm from 19th Street Crib. And in their mind, in their rehearsal, the other person would say, all right, bro, cool, you a joint. But this is not how that went, okay? The Mexicans don't really, get intimidated that much by black gang members, all right?
You're stupid. Of course they're not going to be intimidated if they outnumber you and they're in their own territory. This dude is square and stupid. Why would the Mexicans be intimidated when, for one, both of these dudes are kids, teenagers. These are grown-ass men with weapons, and they outnumber them. So why would the Mexicans be intimidated? I'm going to show you a video. I showed you a video yesterday. Let me show you how dumb he is. I'm gonna go back to this video. Now, this Mexican gangbanger, and I'm not even looking at him like he's a buster. Check this out. We're gonna go right here. I'm gonna give you guys this example. Show you how stupid this guy is.
Welcome to War Stories. In this episode,
now this Mexican right here got pressed by some Crips. He didn't bang his hood. He kept saying, I know Pooh. He was outnumbered in somebody's territory.
Each other on sight.
They was pressing him. And he ain't no small dude. This dude is grown, but guess what? He got caught slipping in Crip territory. They asked him where he was from. He didn't want to say where he was from. You know what he kept saying? I know Pooh, I know Pooh. Pooh is an OG from Acacia Block. So he tried to wiggle his way out of the situation by saying, hey, man, I know Pooh. I know y'all big homie. Please don't attack me. I know Pooh. He didn't bang his set. He wasn't talking hard like, hey, Vardio whoopty whoop. Let me show you fools. This is what happens when listen, homie. This right here is what happens when you get caught slipping in somebody's territory. This SA didn't want no smoke. Do I look at him like a punk? Absolutely not. He was outnumbered. He had no way of winning. It was a no-win situation for the SA. So the smart thing for him to do was say, hey, man, I know Pooh. I know your big homie, man.
Hey, hold up, where you from, though, nigga? That ain't the question. You know, Pooh, niggas, where you from, nigga? Live when they acting right.
He said, I don't care. That ain't the question. The question is where you from. He kept saying, man, I know Pooh, man. I know Pooh. Nah, that ain't the question about where you from. No, he said the real question is where you from. He kept saying, man, I know Pooh. So do we use this as an example to say that SAs are terrified of blacks? Absolutely not. He was caught slipping. He was in somebody else's hood. What was he supposed to do? Talk crazy and get unalive? Hell no, he wasn't going to do that. He said whatever he had to say to get up out of there. Now look at him. When he said he knew Pooh, they said, all right, man, get up out of here, homie. Bounce and get up out of here. And that's exactly what he did. I'm gonna show it again for you. For you, Gillen. This is what happens when you get caught in somebody's hood. I don't care if you black or Mexican. When you're outnumbered in somebody's hood, you ain't gonna talk crazy.
Brawls, shootings, pressing each other on sight.
Yo, boy said, man, we should knock on Cub. Basically saying we should lay his ass down. But he like, nah, man, don't do it. Don't do it. I know Pooh. I can call Pooh on the phone right now.
Hey, hold up, where you from, though, nigga? They ain't the question. You know, Pooh, niggas, where you from, nigga? Live when they acting right. We let them.
They let him go. They let him go. He said we let them live when they acting right.
When they acting right. That ain't the question. You know, Pooh, niggas, where you from, nigga? Live when they acting right. We let them live. We let them live when they acting right.
Suddenly, these two gangs that grew up together.
Like, you guys are dumb, man. That was a prime example of what happens when Mexicans get caught slipping in black territories. It's no different. He said we let them live when they acting right, man. We let them live. The only thing that saved his ass is that he knew Pooh. Oh, I didn't try to go there. Shout out to Aunt Hefe, man. Don't care about nothing but what the check say.
All right, they've been spanking them since the 60s. All right.
So I showed you a Mexican who got caught in Crip territory. Did he bang his hood? He didn't even bang his hood. Old boy said, nah, man, the question is where you from? I don't care about you knowing Pooh. That Mexican having a relationship with Pooh is the only thing that saved his ass. And then old boy with the blue flag over his face said, we let them live when they acting right. So they said, all right, homeboy, get up out of here, man. Don't come back over here, though. And the SA got the hell on. Did the SA start talking crazy? Absolutely not. He was humble. Why? Because he wanted to live to fight another day. So he got the hell on. He didn't start talking greasy. He didn't say, hey, man, I'm from Barrio Wooty Whoop Homes. He didn't do none of that. He got the hell up out of there once they allowed him to leave.
They sons, okay? Like, they've been putting black gang members over their lap and giving them a spanking. So when they see two little brats scream, I'm from Hinton Crib, they see food. So they pressed their issue and told them F what they repping. And that's when we energy they have for other black people. It went down. It was nowhere to be found. When
that wasn't the 90s, homeboy. That wasn't the 90s, bro. The Acacia Block Crips still got beef with that same Mexican gang today. You don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't the 90s, homie. It was not the 90s. It was not. Acacia Block Compton Crips still got beef with that same Mexican gang in Compton. Ain't nothing changed. It's still on with them in that particular Mexican gang. Most of you people don't know what you be talking about, man. Y'all just be coming up here talking, don't know nothing. If you catch an essay in a black hood right now, he's not going to be talking greasy if he get caught slipping. You catch a black person caught slipping. If you catch a black person slipping in the Mexican community, he ain't going to be talking greasy. He going to say whatever he got to say to get up out of there. That's human nature.
Mexicans brought the real issues to them.
You ain't got
Hell yeah. No.
I'm from ATF Compton Crib. I'm from Compton, California. Yeah. That's how y'all feeling?
Hell yeah, y'all.
What you guys doing right here?
We just doing a little interview.
You guys are rappers or what?
Yeah, I'm a rapper.
A-gang.
That's A-gang. I got it right here. You see it's on my neck.
Salute.
I'm A-gang too. I fuck with my Mexicans and all that. They're homies.
Salute.
when people say, oh man, I rock with my Mexicans and all, he was just saying that to get up out of there, bro. Them SAs, they was outnumbered by the SAs in SA territory, and them SAs had that fire on them. So when he said I'm good with my Mexicans, he was just saying that so he can get up out of that situation with his life. You ain't finna talk greasy when the enemy's got the up on you. They got blick and you outnumbered and you in their territory. It wouldn't be wise to talk crazy to them at that particular time. Doesn't make you a punk. Doesn't mean that you're scary. It means that you're smart. What you think would have happened if he would have told them essays, F your set, man, we can do it, whatever. Hey, man, what's whatever, man, F y'all set. Man, them essays would have blew them dudes down. They would have got smoked. So the smart thing to do was to diffuse the situation. Hey, man, it's all good. We just doing a hood vlog. After the hood vlog, we gonna bounce. We respect y'all territory. Matter of fact, I'm good with Mexicans. So he did whatever he had to do to defuse that situation. It doesn't make him a punk. It don't mean he's scary. When you in somebody else's territory, they got you outnumbered and they got weapons. You will be a fool. You will be a fool to talk greasy to them at that particular time. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I met your ambassador. What's up? What's up? When are we doing something fun? Damn, what's up?
Yeah.
It don't matter, even if the video was in the 90s. Let me say this to you keyboard warriors, you internet nerds. The point is, if you get caught slipping in somebody's hood, it's going to be the same thing. I don't care if it was 1995, 2005, 2015, 2025. That's what happens when a Mexican get caught in a black neighborhood or if a black get caught in a Mexican neighborhood. That's what happens. That essay was not talking greasy. He said, hey, man, I know poo. Matter of fact, he didn't even bang his set. The one dude said, nah, man, where you from? He knew if he told them where he was from, they probably would have laid him down and smoked him. So to defuse the situation, he kept saying, man, I know poo, man, I know poo. Not once did that essay bang his set, because banging his set could have created a bad situation for him. So he said, no, I ain't gonna bang my set. I'm gonna tell these people I know poo. Hey, man, I know OG poo, man. I know OG poo. That's what happens. You idiots keep saying, well, it don't matter what year it was, homie. That's how it goes down. When Mexicans get caught slipping in black neighborhoods, they don't talk greasy to black people. They say whatever they got to say to get up out of there. It's the same on both sides. Ain't nobody gonna talk crazy when the enemigos got you outnumbered with guns. Ain't nobody that stupid.
Nah. We didn't just see the infant Lokes get marked out like that. The Mexican port. Where are you from? I'm from ATF Crib, Compton, and then Mexican said, man, F Compton. And said, that's how you feel? That's how you feel? Huh?
If you catch Poetic Flakko slipping, he gonna shit his pants. He gonna boo-boo in his pants. Them youngsters got way more heart than you. Because if you got caught out of bounds like that, you would boo-boo in your pants, bruh. You don't want no smoke. You don't want no action. Stop it. They were still real enough to bang they set. They said, hey, man, we from ATF Crip, Compton Crip. Now, the essays went on to say F Compton. You know why the essays felt so confident? You know why the essays said F Compton? Because, for one, the essays had them outnumbered. The essays was in their territory, and the essays had a weapon. Plus, these were grown-ass men banging on some teenagers. Make it make sense.
If the Mexican was a brother, they would have been tripping. They would have been tripping. And then what really blew me.
No, they wouldn't have been tripping. See, this is how you know he goofy. Let's say these youngsters got caught in the blood territory and Bloods rolled up on them like it would have been the same thing, homie. There's no way they would have started talking crazy to them Bloods. You're just goofy, homie. He's saying, well, if these were black people, they would have responded with hostility. No, they wouldn't. No, they would not. If they got caught in blood territory and the Bloods pressed them, let's say four Bloods would have pulled up on them, grown ass men with that same energy. It would have been the same result, homie. There's no way they would have started talking greasy to the Bloods. When you get caught in somebody's territory slipping and they got weapons, you're not going to talk crazy. I don't give a damn if these were other Bloods, other Crips, or Mexicans. These youngsters were not going to talk greasy in somebody else's territory like that. This idiot kept saying, well, if these were black dudes, they would have responded different. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't.
If the Mexican was a brother, they would have been tripping. They would have been tripping. And then what really blew me.
Mexicans don't run the show, man. Let me tell you how dumb you guys sound. Do you know that Southsiders got to pay taxes to La M in prison? Last time I checked, when you run something, you don't pay taxes to nobody. Nobody tells you what to do. Nobody dictates your program. Do you know, listen, the Latin Kings in New York and Chicago, they don't pay taxes to a prison gang. Nobody tells the Latin Kings what to do. The Mexican gangbangers in Southern California got to pay homage and take orders from La M. So Mexicans don't run nothing besides they hood. When you run something, you call the shots. The Southsiders don't tell us nothing. They don't run our neighborhoods. They don't dictate. They don't tell us nothing. The Southsiders take orders from La M. Last time I checked, when you run something, you don't take orders from anybody. The Latin Kings don't run Chicago because you got a lot of black gangs out there. But guess what? The Latin Kings don't take orders from a prison gang. Latin Kings take orders from Latin Kings. Latin Kings don't take orders from a prison gang. So, in other words, you can't say that you run something when you got another organization dictating your program. And I don't say that to be disrespectful. I say it because it's the damn truth. Southsiders take orders from La M. They ain't running nothing.
Was the Mexican said, man, A-gang, F Compton, A-gang. And he said, I'm A-gang too. Now you changing your gang. Now you A-gang. You not ATF Crip no more. Now you A-gang. Now you part of a Mexican hood now too. And afterwards, he had.
What he was saying is they get along with Compton Vardio, 155th Street in Compton. That's what he was saying. He was saying, hey, man, we cool with a lot of Mexicans. We only got beef with one Mexican hood. But that's actually true. They're cool with a lot of Mexicans in Compton, although they might have beef with the Compton Vardio 7-0s. Flakko don't know what he's talking about. All he said is we cool with Mexicans for the most part. That's what he said. Do you listen? You're not going to talk tough in somebody else's territory when they got you outnumbered and they got guns on you. It wouldn't be a wise thing to do. I don't care how tough you are, you're not going to do it. So to all you want to be gangsters who saying what you would have did, you wouldn't have did nothing. Now, DC Baby Draco, let me say this. DC Baby Draco just went to jail. You know what he went to jail for? Posted up doing a hood vlog with a gun on him. Now, some of you guys would have said, well, I would have been strapped. Maybe you would have been strapped. But my thing is this. Why would I want to be standing outside with a gun on me, knowing the police can pull up anytime? Now I got to go to jail. I got to sit down and do some time, all because I wanted to take a pistol to a damn hood vlog. DC Baby Draco just got caught with a blick. I think it was yesterday or Saturday. He was doing a hood vlog in Hoover territory with a gun on him, and he went to jail. My thing is this. For one, I'm not going to do a hood vlog in somebody else's neighborhood and I don't have no security, no weapons. For two, it's a bad idea to go to another territory standing outside in broad daylight with a gun on me. The police can pull up anytime. If you want to do these hood vlogs, you need to find a safe location where you got security. Because guess what? The police can easily roll up. Opposition can easily roll up. In this particular case with these youngsters, the ops rolled up. The Mexicans rolled up. DC Baby Draco situation yesterday, the police pulled up. I spoke on this yesterday. Either the cops or the ops are going to roll up. Who do you want to deal with, the cops or the ops? In this particular situation, the ops pulled up. DC Baby Draco situation, the cops pulled up. So it's a lose-lose situation when you on the streets, you in broad daylight doing a hood vlog. No protection, no weapon. You're in a vulnerable situation.
Had the nerves to still pop it, to still throw up the set, as if we ain't just see him get marked out. When both of them got marked out, right? But at least the other one, once he got marked out, he was done. But the other one was still popping it.
Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for.
Do you know how many blacks from these gangs are in prison for going to war with Mexicans and catching bodies? That's how I know you're not from the streets. You know how many Acacia Block members went to prison for going to war with the Compton Mexicans, the CV70s? You guys sound dumb. You don't know nothing. Do you know how many Pyrus in Compton went to prison, caught bodies for going to war with the Tortilla Flats in Compton? Do you know how many Bloods from Black P Stone got locked up for sliding on essays, the 18th Streets? Matter of fact, the Black P Stones kicked the 18th Street out of their territory. You know how many Venice Shoreline Crips got locked up for going to war with them Mexicans in West LA? You people don't know what you're talking about. You know how many Crips in Long Beach from Insane and 20s went to jail for catching bodies going to war with the essays in Long Beach? You people don't know what you're talking about. You just be running your damn mouth. Some of you people are just squares some of you guys are just squares who love to type in the comment section. You don't know nothing about LA street warfare. You know how many people from Rolling 20 Bloods went to jail for going to war with Mexicans? You people don't know what you're talking about. There's plenty of black gangs in LA who's went to war with Mexicans and caught bodies. And a lot of those guys are still serving prison time today. You squares from Delaware need to be quiet, zip your lips, shut up and take notes, and maybe you can learn something.
Come in.
For sure. I ain't gonna lie. Appreciate you for having me. No cap.
Who was I here with today?
BZ2JG from the 16 management. Yeah, you already know, man.
That's the bully for legendary, yeah.
I'm not just gonna make the Mexican gang members look like they are just like superhuman. You know, those kids are like 18, 19 years old. Those were grown men. So I'm not gonna make it sound like they just so superhuman.
You already did though. These are kids, bro. This dude right here, 130 pounds soaking wet, 130 pounds soaking wet. These are teenagers, bro. These were some grown ass men who pulled up on them. And these were grown ass men with weapons. So to all you people saying what you would have did, man, you wouldn't have did nothing.
For sure. I ain't gonna lie. Appreciate you for having me. No cap.
Who was I here with today?
BZ2JG from the 16 management. Yeah, you already know,
You
man.
can't tell somebody from LA what's going on. You can't tell. This is not a black community, you dummy. This is not a black community at all. They had no business filming a hood vlog over there in the first place. This area was never black. This was never a black community. Shut up, be quiet, and take notes, and maybe you can learn something. You squares and gang goofy Gilligans don't know nothing about LA street politics. Y'all just be running your mouth. This was never a black community. This was never a black territory. They got caught slipping in a neighborhood that they should have never been in the first place.
That's the bully for legendary, yeah.
I'm not just gonna make the Mexican gang members look like they are just like superhuman. You know, those kids are like 18, 19.
Florence did not take no neighborhood from the East Coast Crips. Once again, you're reading internet goofy. You're reading stuff from the internet. East Coast did not lose territory to the Florence here. The Florence wanted to form a peace treaty with East Coast. Why do you think so? Not because they were scared. They was tired of the warfare. Too many people was getting killed. A Mexican mafia, a dude from the Mexican mafia that happened to be from Florence 13, reached out to some of the OGs from East Coast Crip and said, man, let's kill this beef, man. This beef been going on for too long. It's bad for business, and a lot of people been losing their lives. You don't ask for a peace treaty with a gang that you're just mopping the floor with. You don't ask for a peace treaty with a gang that you're mopping the floor with. I don't expect for goofies to understand street politics. The Mexican mafia reached out to the East Coast Crips and said, let's kill this beef. It's bad for business. Too many people are losing their lives. If Florencia was just taking territory from East Coast, there's no way you're going to reach out for a peace treaty with a gang that you're mopping the floor with. You guys are just goofy. You get in the comment section and you talk about stuff that you know nothing about. Save yourself the embarrassment, man. And I don't listen. The Florences wasn't soft for that. They saw the bigger picture. They said nobody's going to win this war. People are going to continue to die, and it's bad for business. So they said, all right, Y'all knock some of our homies down. We knock some of y'all homies down. Nobody's going to win this war. It's going to be a back and forth thing. Let's kill this beef, man. Let's dead the beef, man. Let's have a meeting and squash this beef. So that's exactly what they did. Nobody was scared. Nobody lost. You had deaths on both sides. Nobody wins in that situation.
Go lie. Appreciate you for having me. No cap.
Who was I here with today?
Busy 2 Jiggy from the 16 management. You already know, man.
That's the really full legendary year.
I'm not just gonna make the Mexican gang members look like they are just like superhuman. You know, those kids were like 18, 19 years old. Those were grown men. So
if you think I don't know what I'm talking about, hit the link. Let me see what your name is, homeboy, because you can type in the comment section all you want. Your name is Op from 63rd. Why don't you hit the link and prove that I don't know what I'm talking about? Hit the link and prove that I don't know what I'm talking about. Go ahead and do it right now. Hit that link and prove that I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't need to be in the streets right now. I'm a grown man. I did that in my teen years, in my 20s. What I look at my age hanging in the streets with teenagers and people in their 20s. The hell do I look like doing that at this age? I've been there and done that already. An OG from Florence 13 that's from the Mexican Mafia reached out to the OGs from East Coast to squash that beef because it was bad for business and a lot of people were dying. There's losses on both sides. They seen the bigger picture. They said, this is bad for business, man. People going to continue to die and nobody's going to win. So the Florences, listen, F-13 didn't take nothing from East Coast. The only thing is the East Side is just a growing Mexican population. There's a bunch of immigrants over there right now because so many immigrants have crossed the border, but the East Coast ain't never lost nothing.
I'm not gonna make it sound like they just so superhuman and so tough. Like they're not Brock Lesnar or nothing. But we still gotta sit back and gaze in awe that the infantiny lows who be stepping.
The 20s are not clicked up with harpies. 20s is cool with harpies. I know a lot of people from harpies. I grew up with them, but niggas ain't clicked up with harpies or nothing like that. They're just cool with them because they share, you know, they went to the same schools. A lot of them grew up together. So, but shout out to the harpies though. I know essays from harpies. I know essays from crazy riders, mid-city stoners. I know some Clantone 14s. I know some MS-13s. I know a lot of Southsiders because I grew up with them. I'm a real LA cat, homeboy. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not coming with information that I got from the internet. My information comes from me being in these streets. Running the streets in the 90s, running the streets in the 2000s. I know what it is, homeboy. My information don't come from no damn YouTube video. I'm speaking from listen, homie, I'm speaking from experience. Something that Poetic Flakko don't have. He don't have Poetic Flakko has no experience in these LA streets. He's a blogger. He'll say anything for clicks and views. Clearly, the man doesn't know what he's talking about. He's an internet nerd who reports on street business, who reports on street politics, mainly in Los Angeles. He's an internet nerd who makes money off content.
Who be doing harm and victimizing other black folks, fold it, turn it down. We ain't see none of faux legendary.
It ain't no.
When the Mexicans pulled up, though. Now, civilians, this ain't our fight, okay? This is not our fight, all right? We get along, okay? Civilian Mexicans and blacks, we get along. The gang members are the ones who don't get along. So we gotta spectate and give commentary and point out the hypocrisy. Now, listen, a lot of y'all feel bad because, you know, they're young gang members. Man, listen, man, young gang member, old gang members is a gang member. We don't discriminate. We don't care, all right? It's F them all, okay? Young, old, infant, we don't care, all right? All right, we're not giving you any passes because you're young. No, all right? No. Now, I'm going to say this, okay? They're young enough to where we could probably have compassion for them and say, hey, man, this is not the way. right? You guys are young, y'all are handsome, you're charismatic. You have your life ahead of you. You could do anything you want to be. Why would you choose to be a gang member? That's the most embarrassing thing you could ever call yourself as a young black man in America. That's the most embarrassing thing you could ever call yourself. Why do it? I have a confession. The reason why I don't feel too much sympathy for these kids is because deep down inside, when I see an altercation between a black gang member and a Mexican gang member, I'm secretly rooting for the people who are least likely to victimize me and people who look like me. I'm rooting against the people who are very likely to victimize me and people who look like me, who are very likely to murder somebody who look like me and somebody in my family. I'm rooting against the people who make it difficult for, my cousins and nieces and nephews to play at the park. I'm rooting against the people who make it impossible for my grandmama to go to the store at night by herself. All right. And PSA to all black non-affiliates and civilians out there. Okay, when you're deciding who to root for.
Let me show you how square he is. Do you know that Mexican gang members terrorize their own people? Do you know those Mexican vendors in Mexican communities pay taxes to Mexican gangbangers? Do you know that Mexican gangbangers got to pay their taxes to La M? So it's a pecking order. The street vendors pay taxes to the Mexican gangbangers in Mexican communities. Then the Mexican gangbangers got to pay taxes to La M. Sounds like extortion to me. Sounds like they're victimizing their own people to me. The same way you want to talk about blacks extorting other blacks, we don't really do that to each other. If anything, Mexicans extort each other more than black people extort each other. But you can't expect for a square like Poetic Flakko to understand that because he's never been in the streets. He don't know nothing about LA politics. All of his information comes from the internet. And if your information is coming from the internet, your information is limited. You at that point, you know little to nothing. Poetic Flakko, I bet you wasn't aware of that though, huh? Those mom and pop businesses and barrios in Mexican communities, the Mexican gangbangers tax them. You know what the Mexican gangbangers said? You got to pay us for protection. And the Mexican gangbangers, they got to pay taxes to La M. You see how that works? Mexican gangbangers got to pay taxes to La M just to operate as a gang. The Mexican street vendors got to pay Mexican gangbangers just to operate their businesses in Mexican territory. Sounds like extortion. Matter of fact, that's exactly what it is. But I don't expect a square from Delaware to really understand how that works.
Between black gang members and Mexican gang members, I think you should root for the outcome that brings you the least stress. You should root for the outcome, all right, that brings you the least oppression, that brings you the least obstacles. Root for the outcome that eliminates the most obstacles in your life, okay? And I feel like we all know what that outcome is, right? We all know who to root for. I'm not going to say it out loud, but we know who to root for.
Gang members run their territory. Like Mexican gangs run their barrios and territory. Black gangs run their neighborhoods, right? Mexicans don't tell blacks to do nothing. Blacks don't pay taxes to nobody. Mexican gangbangers pay taxes to La M. And I'm not saying that to disrespect Southsiders, but you can't claim that you run something when you're paying taxes to a prison organization. At that point, you got a group of people running you, dictating your program, telling you what you can and can't do. Nobody tell Crips and Bloods what they can and can't do. Nobody. Mexican gangs got to take orders from La M, the Mexican mafia. Southsiders do not dictate their own program. La M does. If they don't follow the instructions of La M, they get dealt with once they hit the county jail, once they hit prison.
If you don't want to hear kicking, cacking, being boo, if you don't want to come home from a long day at work and see hooligans outside your crib, smoking Black and Mild, smelling funky, outside all day, blah, baby. If you don't want to hear that kicking, cacking, being boo nonsense, bro, you know who to root for. Now, a lot of people is already quick to rush to the internet and claim that this is an anomaly, that the Mexican gang members only pull up and did this because they were children. But I've seen an interview recently where a reputable, real gangbanging legend in LA County called Snoopy Badass.
Snoopy Badass is not a reputable. See, this is, man, Poetic Flakko, man, shut up. Snoopy, and I'm not, listen, Snoopy Badass is not a reputable or a legend. Snoopy Badass is trolling because the Bloods kicked him out of the set, so now he has a vendetta, so now he wants to talk down on Bloods and Crips. I want you to hear what this fool just said. He said Snoopy Badass, a legend and a reputable. Snoopy is not a legend, for one, and for two, he's not a reputable. Where do you get this information from, man? Poetic Flakko, shut up. Stop making videos because you don't know what you're talking about. But this is the sad part. This man don't know what he's talking about, but YouTube is still going to push this nonsense through the algorithm. See, YouTube don't care if you don't know what you're talking about. Poetic Flakko is trending on YouTube. He can say the goofiest shit ever. YouTube is still going to push this goofy ass video through the algorithm, even though he ain't got a clue about what he's talking about. He said that Snoopy Badass was a legend and a reputable.
And see hooligans outside your crib, smoking black and mild, smelling funky, outside all day, blah, baby. If you don't want to hear that kicking, cacking, being booed nonsense, bro, you know who to root for. Now, a lot of people is...
He finna say the goofiest, listen, he finna say the goofiest crap ever. Snoopy Badass is a legend and a reputable. People from LA gonna laugh at that. The moment you said that, they gonna say, hey, man, hey, shut this video down. You don't know what you're talking about. But Poetic Flakko doesn't care because he's gonna get paid regardless. He's going to get paid off. He's going to get paid regardless. He didn't say anything that made sense, but he ain't got to make sense. YouTube will still push this nonsense throughout the algorithm so that everybody can see it. And clearly the guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Already quick to rush to the internet and claim that this is an anomaly, that the Mexican gang members only pull up and did this because they were children. But I've seen an interview recently where a reputable, real gangbanging legend in LA County called Snoopy Badass, where he said, yo, I grew up in LA County my entire life. And, yo, when it comes to LA County, black gang members are terrified of Mexican gang members.
Like, them don't want to go to war with them essays, bro.
They already went to war with essays. What are you talking about? They don't want to go to war with essays. The Rolling 20 Bloods have went to war with essays. 18th Street and the Mid-City Stoners. The Black P Stones went to war with the 18th Streets, kicked them up out of the jungles. The Venice Shoreline Crips went to war with like 4 Mexican sets in West LA, and they're the only black gang out there. The Crips in Long Beach still go to war with the Mexicans still to this day. The Bloods in Inglewood go to war with the Inglewood 13s. What are you talking about? Scared to go to war with Mexicans, man. The East Coast Crips went to war with Florence 13 for over 20 years. Several bodies dropped in that war. Wasn't nobody scared? This is what happens when y'all listen to internet goofy. Scared to go to war with who?
Interview recently where a reputable, real gangbanging legend in LA County called Snoopy Badass, where he said, yo, I grew up in LA County my entire life. And, yo, when it comes to LA County, black gang members are terrified of Mexican gang members.
Like, them don't want to go to war with them essays, bro. Don't want to go over them. I'm going to keep it real. Like, I be thinking most blacks is scared of they scared of him. Because, like, the essays, like, let me give you a scenario, right? The essays can, okay, a black hood can have been in LA for years, decades, right? As soon as an essay buy a few houses on the block in their hood, guess what? Now that's their hood. Y'all got to share the hood with the Hispanics. And the blacks don't go to war with them or nothing. I didn't see blacks not even go to war with them, right? Feel me? And when they do go to war, they always be friends with them first, right?
See, he said they don't go to war. Then he said, well, they do go to war with them because they was friends first, because there was no beef. Blacks never had issues with Mexicans, right? Now, when the Mexicans started tripping, that's when blacks said, okay, we'll bring you to the smoke. But blacks never attacked Mexicans just for being Mexican in a black neighborhood. That's not how the beef started. Usually the beef starts between blacks and Mexicans when Mexicans get their numbers up and they start trying little things, and then next you know, it's on and popping from there. But initially, the blacks could have easily pressed play on the Mexicans. Once a few of them started moving in the community, we could have easily just hit the play button and removed them from the community. But blacks are not racist, so we didn't attack Mexicans just for being Mexicans. Now, once they started gangs in certain territories and started getting bold, that's where the beef started. Now, you got some areas where the Mexicans were always there. Blacks and Mexicans always shared that territory. But you got other areas where there were black gangs and Mexicans wasn't there, and Mexicans moved in later. You got areas like that too. Let me give you an example. Let's talk about the jungles. The Black Peace Stones was always, the jungles was always, it was a black community. Well, it was a white community in the 60s and 50s before it became a black community in the late 60s and 70s. But the jungles is a blood territory. The 18th Streets tried to move in the 90s. They tried to move in. They started selling dope. They started hitting up 18th Street saying, this is our barrio. Black Peace Stone said, hey, man, y'all can't do that, homie. This ain't your hood. Stop selling dope over here. The 18th Streets didn't listen. They kept selling dope, and they kept writing graffiti on the wall as if it was their hood too. So eventually the Stones got tired of it and ran them up out of there. Gunplay ensued. Hold on, you guys.
But let a black family move on the block and say, man, we started our own crew right here. This is our hood too.
Hold on, right there. That was a test from the they testing out my smoke detectors to see if they work. So that's what that was. They're just testing the smoke detectors to see if it works. It's all good though. Let's move on. The Black Peace Stones kicked 18th Street up out of the jungles because they started growing in numbers and they started getting bold. So the Blood said, y'all got to go. So they removed them, kicked the Mexicans up out of the jungles. Kicked them up out of the jungles because they got too bold. Mid-city stoners tried to move to Watts, right, by Bounty Hunter Blood's territory. They started getting bold, started harassing black people. The Blood served them, started gunning them down, and ran them up out of there. Same thing the Black Peace Stones had to do to the 18th Streets. Start gunning them down and ran them up out of there. And the 18th Streets are no punks. But it was impossible for them to take over the jungles because the Bloods was too deep, a lot of weapons, a lot of soldiers, and a lot of riders. So it didn't matter if the 18th Streets wasn't punks. The Bloods were not gonna let them take over their territory, so they ran the Mexicans up out of the jungles. The same way that the Bloods and the niggas in Gardens ran them Mexicans up out of their area. The mid-city stoners. Listen. You got mid-city stoners in LA, in my section of LA. I know some of them. We had problems with them. Shit hit the fan with the mid-city stoners in 93, 94. And there was some back and forths. So no, blacks are not afraid of Mexicans, bro. I can name several hoods in LA that went to war with Mexicans that's still at war with Mexicans to this day. Now, what you can say, this is what he should have said. Blacks should have been more territorial by not allowing certain Mexicans to move in their communities. But that's because blacks didn't have problems with Mexicans in the 80s. You know, warfare with Mexicans didn't pop off until maybe 93, 94. That's when you started to hear about warfare between blacks and Mexican gangs. Prior to that, it was just black on black and Mexican on Mexican.
They're going to be trying to mark them out, shoot them out, punk them, do every most blacks be cowards, bro. Black gangbangers.
That doesn't even make any sense.
That's what would happen. Most black gangbangers are cowards. That's why they're gangbangers.
Well, then you would have to say Mexicans are cowards because they are gangbangers. If you're going to say blacks are cowards because they're gangbangers, then you would have to say Mexicans are cowards because they are gangbangers. Well, the ones who gangbang. If blacks are cowards for gangbanging, then Mexicans are cowards for gangbanging. You can't have it. It's not a one-sided thing.
They can't. That's why they're gangbangers and they marks. What you say?
So you would treat your own people differently than you would treat anybody else.
Boy, blacks are scared of everybody but their own people, bruh.
That's wild, man.
They scared of
That's
everybody
wild.
but their own. They not gonna do nothing, man. Any one of these hoods, a Hispanic can set up shop in their hood right there and then. All them black gangbangers gonna work their way around them, bro. That's what I be trying to tell them, bro. The streets is dead. Ain't no street code. All this shit is an illusion, bro. Feel what I'm saying? Gangbangers are cowards, bro. If you a threat and they know they can't get away with, they gonna leave you alone, bro. Why you? They not ready to fight them or shoot it. They not ready for that, bro. They scary, bro. For me, like it's that.
Snoopy Badass said some things that made sense, but he also said a lot of things that didn't make sense, and he said some things that were flat out lies. Blacks are scared of Mexicans. That's not true, bro. Like if you from LA, you know that's not true. You know? So he said a few things that was true, but it was mixed in with a whole lot of BS. Things that are not true. What he should have said is blacks need more unity, camaraderie, and understanding with one another. That's what he should have said, but blacks being scared of Mexicans, that's just false. Too many black gangs in LA have went to war with Mexicans. So we know that's false. That's a false claim. Bang, 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 bang.
Slave mentality that's embedded in our DNA, bro.
He said it, not me. You got a problem, you got to take it up with Snoopy Badass. All right, so the excuse of, man, Flakko, you not no gang bit. Well, hey, Snoopy Badass said it.
A lot of people don't respect Snoopy Badass, man. So you can't use Snoopy Badass to say, well, Snoopy said it, so it must be true. Snoopy don't even know what he's talking about. Snoopy Badass is from the Inland Empire. He moved to Los Angeles later. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. I didn't come from the Inland Empire. I didn't come from another city. No, I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. I know what I'm talking about. Snoopy Badass is not from Compton originally. Snoopy Badass was from a Crip gang in Riverside or San Bernardino, the Inland Empire somewhere. Snoopy Badass moved to Los Angeles later on in life. Originally, he's from the IE. He's not from LA. He ain't from Compton. He moved to Compton in Los Angeles later on in life. That's not where he's from originally. He's from the Inland Empire. Snoopy Badass was a Crip. Then he became a Blood later. You got pictures of Snoopy Badass with the Harlem 30s Crip. You got other pictures of Snoopy Badass with the Crips in Riverside. I think it's called Neighborhood Paris, some shit like that. I don't really know too much about IE gangs. But word on the street is he was from a neighborhood Crip gang in the Inland Empire. Then he started hanging out with the Harlems. Then eventually he got put on Pyru. So that's what you call a hood hopper. Now, I don't have nothing against Snoopy. I don't know nothing about Snoopy's paperwork. I don't really care about that. All I'm saying is Snoopy Badass is not a credible source to be talking about what's real. Listen, I'm not even going to say that because he's been in Los Angeles long enough to understand the politics. Snoopy Badass is just talking. He's talking reckless for clicks. Some of the stuff he said in that video was true, but he also said a whole lot of BS that you can throw in the garbage.
He a gang member, so what's the excuse now? Now, civilians, black civilians, Mexican civilians, let's not involve ourselves with this nonsense. We get along, all right? It's black and brown unity among us. If gang members want to infight, let them infight, bro.
There's no black and brown unity, bro. There's a lawsuit going on in Los Angeles where the Mexicans don't even like to hire blacks at these construction sites or at these warehouses. The LA City Council said some crazy things about black folks, man. So it ain't just gang members. It's politicians. listen, you're gonna run into racism with Mexicans when it comes to politics, prison, or in the streets. So it ain't just gangbangers. Anti-blackness is deep in their culture. It's embedded in their culture. So you can't say that Mexican gang members are the only ones who are racist towards blacks. No, you got Mexican civilians who are racist towards blacks. Did you hear what the LA City Council said about blacks? Did you hear about that? Have you ever went to a job where it's a gang of Mexicans and they only hire Mexicans and they start speaking Spanish whenever black people come around? No, you've never experienced that. You're not from Los Angeles, so quit talking. It ain't just Mexican gangbangers, it's Mexican civilians who feel the same way. I'm not saying all Mexican people are racist, but the majority of them are. Anything over 50% is the majority, and the majority of Mexicans don't like black people. You got some Mexicans who are cool with blacks, but a lot of them are not cool with blacks. So if you're a black man or a black person, you're going to run into racism dealing with Mexicans. You're going to run into that on the job. You're going to run into racism dealing with Mexicans when it comes to politics. You're going to run into racism dealing with Mexicans when it comes to street stuff and prison politics. I'm just giving you the real.
Nothing to do with this. All right, we actually have brains. But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think? All right, what are y'all thoughts on the situation? Okay, and if you're still watching this video and you want to
Poetic Flakko, man, you don't know what you're talking about, man. You need to shut this video down. You need to quit talking, man, because you don't know what you're talking about, man. Racism only exists with the gangbangers. Clearly, you're not from LA, man. Quit talking about LA politics, bro, because you don't know what you're talking about, man. You a square from Delaware who's talking about something that he's never experienced. Shut up. Hold on, you guys. Hold on real quick. I'm going to go to another video. Hold on real quick, y'all. But listen, man, I think we're going to wrap this one up, man. I think we didn't say enough. We said everything that needed to be said. Yeah, man. Flakko ain't from LA, man. So, you know, you got to expect him to say goofy stuff. Poetic Flakko's doing this for views and clicks. He don't know nothing about the politics for real. All blacks got pushed out of California. No, they didn't. It's just that, you know, economics and other reasons that blacks decided to leave Cali. You know, it's just they decided to leave for that reason. Although you still have a decent amount of blacks who are there. But you got to think the black population in Atlanta has decreased. You know, the black populations in major cities across the country have decreased. Right. So it ain't just California. It's just worse in California because of the economy. And when you think about our proximity to the border, so it's just worse in Cali, but it's going on all across the country. He ain't stirring the pot. I'm not worried about Poetic Flakko. People who know better shouldn't even pay Poetic Flakko no attention. You know what I mean? They shouldn't pay him no attention. Hit the like button, man. I'm going to get up out of here. Peace, everybody. Check me out on the next.